Hello, everyone. Welcome back to an episode of Entrepreneurial Audacity. I'm here with Paul today. And Paul is going to be telling us a little bit about his story and his mindset and why he wanted to be on the podcast. So, Paul, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, quite often people call me the healing wizard. I live in Melbourne, Australia. So I've been doing healing for about 30 years and I've helped people heal from 50 different countries. Why I'm interested in this is because I don't only train healers, but I also train healers how to be an entrepreneur, which is a bit different. Because what I've discovered is a lot of healers, and of course healing is the second fastest growing industry in the world right now, given what's going on in the world, is that a lot of healers, they struggle to put themselves out into the world. And in the end, they do a lot of one-on-one healing, which I love doing one-on-one healing, but you're still constrained by time, and in a way, you're still a slave to the system. What I do is I help people know how to go online, how to create an online business by creating online courses and buying other healing businesses. So they can really live a life of abundance and also leveraging their time while making a major contribution to the world.
Very cool. And when did you know that you wanted to go into this space? And when did you know that it was time to take this to a business setting?
I've actually, I taught at university for a while, and I did a lot of research on learning, and I taught in business. So I've always had a business background. But in the 1996, I had a bit of an emergency, and I like to play with words. And if you look at the word emergency, like emerge and see. Right, and my emergency was one of my friends wanted to die in a car accident. I was taking it at the time, and I wasn't really happy because universities can be a challenging place to work. I enjoyed teaching, but it's all the bureaucracy there. But when I saw my friend in the hospital who almost died, I almost fainted, and I thought, shit, that could have been me. Because he was binge drinking at the time, and I was binge drinking as well. I thought, shit, that could have easily been me. So I went and sat in the botanical gardens next to the hospital in Adelaide, which is where I was at the time. And I pondered my life, and I thought, I'm sad and angry, and I need to change. And I thought, I want to learn how to heal myself. So I left university and never went back. And I learned a lot about energy and consciousness, and I learned a lot about how to heal myself. And then so I really did for myself in this way. But then I thought, I'll try this on other people. And I thought, well, my healing abilities came out because I'm very sensitive, I'm an empath. I can connect to anyone and I can instantly diagnose them. So exactly what's going on and how to remove it. So really from 1996, about 30 years ago, since then, I've just really...
Just shy of 30. I was born in 97.
Oh, there you go, see? I started just before you were born, right? So since then, I've just been really excited I feel when you find something that you're good at and you enjoy and know you can make a major contribution to the world. Because I always had a funny feeling about Western medicine. Right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the word pharmaceutical, suit to kill. Yeah. Well, medicine is like me die soon. So I keep people out of hospitals and keep people off pills. So part of my passion is helping people know how to heal themselves. And this is important energy for entrepreneurs because a lot of entrepreneurs, they've got big dreams and they work hard and they push themselves, but stress is a major cause of illness.
Yeah.
And of course, therefore, if you're not in high energy because you've got health issues, well, you can't live your dream. So part of my passion is I love to help people know how to heal themselves. I'll give people a link under this video when you post it. I've got a self-healing course which teaches people how to heal themselves from anything. I'm not meaning it, right?
Yeah.
Could be emotional issues, could be mental issues like anxiety or depression, or it could be physical issues, right? So I'm really passionate about helping people know how to heal themselves, but also to create a lifestyle that actually is not a slavery, because most people work long hours to buy things they don't need, which is a pretty crazy world, right? So
we're very consumer driven.
Very consumer driven. And it's all right to buy consumer things, but it's knowing that it's connecting to yourself and really enjoying who you are and knowing why you're here in the world and how you can help the world. Because I believe we've all got some gifts and it's about sharing them with the world. Like I'm not a singer, You won't catch me on stage on a karaoke night, but I know how to help people heal, right? So I thought, what
Yeah.
do you find your abilities? Oh, like I know I can help people heal. I go, oh my
Yeah.
God. And to help people heal is such a massive thing because you make major changes in people's lives. But you can also do that as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because I work 4 hours a day. That's what I work, right? But you can make a major abundance, which I call abundance just because I like thunder.
Abundance. I like that.
Yeah, abundance, right? I create my
Yeah.
own, right? And so it's about having fun with life, doing what you're really wanting to do, knowing that you can create money without working long hours or being a slave to the system.
Yeah. And what would you say to, like, you know, because the intention with me starting this podcast is so I can generate that platform where people who are exploring, like, what do I do? How do I start a business? How can I turn my passion into a profit system? And like, how do you even get started? Like, what advice would you give to, like, particularly the younger generation, Paul? Because, you know, you started this before I was even born. So if you
Yeah,
were talking to you back then, what information and thoughts would you share?
I think that's a great question, right? Because I feel a lot of people, they sacrifice themselves to fit in the world, which is what I did for a long time, right? Which made me sad and angry. I think it's really important to connect to yourself. And that's what I did in that emergency in 1996. I thought, well, yeah, I'm a good teacher. And like I won a national teaching award, but I wasn't happy at university. So I think it's really important. And when I went on my journey in 1996 to really reconnect to who I was, that's when you find out your passion. And when you really connect to your passion of who you are, then it's knowing that that gives great value to the world. And therefore you can create a business out of it. So I not only train healers, but I've helped singers become very successful by connecting to who they really are. Like I had a singer who she didn't have any contracts, but within a month she had an international contract because I helped her really connect to herself as a singer. Right.
Yeah.
So I feel
And how does one go? Oh, sorry, Paul.
no, so the first step I feel is really connecting to who you are, giving yourself permission to be who you are, and then knowing how to monetize it, right? In a system so that you're not working long hours, but you're out there and you're putting stuff out to the world, which you can do very easy these days with automation online.
Yeah.
And then you can leverage your time and make a contribution to the world, but not having to work hard, long hours.
Yeah. And as they say, when you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life, right?
No,
so I'd imagine that what, you know.
I didn't say it as work.
Exactly. It's funny when you get into that state of flow and when you're doing something that you really love and you're really passionate about, it's just easy and it's seamless and you do find that connection to self. And I think that's a really important thing because I feel like, and this is, you know, just my thoughts on this, I feel like a lot of the world these days we're lost. You know, there's a lot of lost souls who don't have that understanding of how to, you know, give themselves permission, like you said, to lean into what they love and dive into other areas and trial different things and start a business or, you know, turn their passion into a profit and dive into the entrepreneurial world because it takes a lot of guts. You know, it's for us to sit here and talk about it, you know, we can talk about it. We'd be able to talk about this until the cows come home, you know, but talking and acting are very different things. So I'd love to know a bit more about, you know, what was and maybe even if you can give us some examples of some of the friction you've faced on your journey of, you know, when you were like, okay, now's the time to act, but I've had a barrier, and how have you overcome that barrier?
I think it's a very good question, right? Because like when I left university, a lot of my friends and family thought I was fucking crazy. What? You're leaving being a professor at university, you're going to do healing? Are you fucking crazy? You know what I mean? Because people saw that as a steady job, right?
Yeah.
But you've got to really connect inside of yourself. And I said to people, this is my passion. But what I realised is the friction it causes because it brought up issues for other people. Like my mum and dad never followed their dream, right? And so when I went to follow my dream, that brought up stuff for them. But you've got to be strong in yourself and knowing that, no, this is the right thing to do, right? So I went and lived in South America for 4 years, working with the healers the shamans in the Amazon forest, and people thought I was crazy. You know what I mean? But I
Wow.
went there and I learnt so much. But
Wow.
I had an intuition inside of me. So part of it's trusting your intuition. No, this is what I need to know. I know I need to do, and I'm going to give myself permission. So quite often I work with clients and even healers. It's about helping people empower themselves so they feel they can get out and go out in the world.
Yeah.
And I people are very simple. Like I'm into simplicity, right? There's complexity to me is it makes things hard, right? So a simple exercise I give a lot of people is to connect to a power animal and really feel the animal inside of them. And I give an
Hmm.
example, like I've got a lawyer who's quite attractive, and she's been affected by other lawyers because there's a lot of sort of narcissistic men in the law industry. But her power animal is a black panther. Now, when she walks into a courtroom, she walks in as a black panther, and she said ever since she does that, she feels powerful. She doesn't be affected by people.
I
So what I
love.
do, yeah, so what I do is I give people exercises like that. It's a simple, which enables them to be who they really are and not be affected by people. Because see, I woke up one day, Angie, this is like a big light quote for me. I woke up one day and I thought, why am I looking for validation from unconscious people? That's crazy,
I like
right?
that. Why am I looking for validation from unconscious people? Beautifully said, Paul.
Yeah,
That is such a, yeah, I really like that. There's, because it is. And, I've even faced it myself. When you get caught up in the worry of judgment and the
yeah,
worry of what other people's opinions and things are going to be. And one of my favorite, like quotes or expressions is, you'll never be judged by someone doing more than you.
yeah,
And
totally,
it's
yeah.
always the unconscious who are, we seek validation from, but it's actually like they're not following their dreams, they're not doing their things. So it's like, why do we actually care what these people think? And why are we going to let that stop us on our path to where we want to go?
Which sort of leads into another important aspect I feel is having people around you that understand you. See, because I was a bit like Harry Potter. I was born into a Muggles family who didn't understand me, which is I found challenging for me. But I believe you go through experiences to learn. So I learned, so I can help a lot of people who don't fit into the world, right? Because I realised I'm not here to fit into the world. I'm here to help change that. Having supportive people around you that understand you and don't think you're totally crazy, right? But probably 90% of the population might think I'm crazy with what I do, right? Because I'm quite magical in what I do, and see, like
Yeah.
I can make my car invisible, so I don't get a parking ticket. Like I've never got a parking ticket because it's my car invisible. Why would I want a parking ticket, right? So
Yeah.
like I use my magic abilities to create what I want to create, right? But to
Yeah.
have people around me who actually understand me and think, oh, they don't think I'm crazy. They just think, oh shit, that's amazing. Why can't I do that as well, right?
Yeah. I love that. That's a really important thing because you do feel crazy when you go into, when you have the audacity to put a bet on yourself and I'm going to start a business, I'm going to do this and I'm going to take a risk. You have to be, you have to believe it in yourself. And you also, like, I love that the support network that you have around you is so important because, yeah, when you are having those moments and, even me this morning, I'm working with my editor at the moment and I was having a moment of just complete overwhelm. Like, what am I doing? I've got this big project. And she had to, and having her with me, she was like, hey, come on, like, bring it back down. This is part of the process. You're not crazy. Like, it's all good. Like, this is part of the journey. It's part of the fun. And, like for me, just having the support network for her to bounce ideas off and just keep you
Yeah,
level headed when you are like, okay, there's a lot going on and a lot happening. But yeah, your
yeah,
support network just to there to guide you and allow you to be crazy, I think is what you're saying, because that encouragement, if when you're gonna be bold and you're gonna be audacious, you've got to have encouragement around you. You've got to have people that hype you up, and then your energy can feed off one another. So
yeah, totally. And therefore, all entrepreneurs should have advisors and mentors around them, including healers, because we're all going through healing stuff, right? Including
yeah,
me. Right? And it's important to have people there. And I've got friends who I can contact me and go, oh my God, this is going for me today. What are you connecting to? And they'll send me a message and that sort of thing. Like to have those people around you is really, really powerful. Like I went to a farmer's market the other day in St Kilda, and I met a lady there who's a runner, and just talking to her, I helped her, gave her some techniques of how she's fourth in the world in 800 metres in Australia, fourth in Australia. She needs to get in the top three to get into the Olympics. Well, I gave her a visualisation of how to visualise actually running 2 seconds faster so she can actually get into the top three, right?
Mm.
So just like for her, oh my God, that's cool. Now, and she was open, so that's, oh my God, yeah, maybe there's another way I can do it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That people around you helps
I
you
like
know
that.
that you can do it. Absolutely.
So let's talk. I like what you just said, and you just gave us a little nugget of gold, saying that she was open. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the importance of being open-minded to receive things and receive guidance and signs and knowledge from others.
Yeah, you've got to be ready to heal. And sometimes people come, but they're not ready to heal. They think they are, but they're not really. And if you're not ready, then, and I train this with healers, I said, if people are not ready, you can't help them. I'll give a good
Yeah.
example. This guy came to me once and I felt a funny energy around him and said, why are you really here? And he said, oh, I'm only here because my girlfriend came and she really thought it was amazing, but I don't believe this works. Like, as an energy healer, holistic healer. So I said to him in the session, I said, if you don't believe it works, you're going to be right because you're going to block it.
Yeah.
So I said to him, and he was quite surprised when I kicked him out of my healing room, right? But
Yeah.
he rang me up 2 weeks later saying, I think I'm ready now.
Yeah. So how important is that, right? Because it is, you got to be ready, you know, and I love that you just said that because it's, you see it a lot. People are, you know, someone said to do this. So they're like, okay, I'm going to do this. And, you know, you can tell when someone comes to you and presents to you and they're like, I'm here, but yeah, they've got the blinkers on, they're blocking everything. You know, nothing's coming through. And I think it's really important as well, like when you do go into entrepreneurship, because you will have people that come to you that you can't help, and being really transparent up front with them and just saying like, hey, actually, you know, and this is applicable to a lot of different industries as well. And, you know, whether you're a service-based business, customer, like, you know, all things, some are the right fit, some customers are the right fit, some clients are the right fit, and some aren't. And being able to like separate them and saying like, hey, actually now's not the time, because, you know, you could have worked with him for a couple of weeks and made no progress, and then he would have instilled that belief that this doesn't work, but you putting it back on him and saying, it's not, you know, this isn't for you right now kind of thing. He then had time to think, come back. And
Yeah,
what was, can we ask about the outcome that he had? Did he?
he had a great outcome because he was ready. He's ready to shift, right? Because he did realise he had an issue, but he was blocking it, and he wanted to come to me from an ego perspective to prove that what I did didn't work, so he could tell his girlfriend that. But then he realised pain is a big motivator, and because pain gets us to, and even as an entrepreneur, oh my God, I'm in a job which I don't like. Because quite often I attract healers, for instance, women who are in the office work in the office with narcissistic men. Where I think, oh my God, I've had enough. So that pain motivates them to move. So quite often people who are ready to move have gone through pain and they go, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. I have to, right? And in a way, that's a bit like me in 1996. I thought, well, I'm at university, I'm quite successful and students like me, but I didn't like the bureaucracy there. And I thought, no, I want to go out and do what I really want to do and have more flexibility in the way I teach. Whereas now I've got my own online school, right, with 15 different courses called the Academy for Life Mastery. And I can teach however I want to teach. And, you know, those courses are out to the world and I can have a bigger influence. So I think that there's two important things that motivates people. I call it the emotional gap. First of all, we connect people to their pain. Oh my God, I can't do this anymore. And the other thing is you connect people to their desires. Right? Oh my God, what would it be like if you did do this? Oh my God, that'd be amazing, right? And that I call this an emotional gap between your pain and your pleasure, right? If you help people connect their pain and what they really want and what would feel like if they really want, right? that really drives them. Like I had a client the other day, and her mum passed away, and she's written a book about her and her mum, right? And it's a really, really powerful book. Like she was scared to put it out to the world, and I thought, no, look, I feel there's a lot that you can help people understanding around grief and a lot of things, and just feel what would it feel like if you went out to the world knowing you could help people. Like get people to their desires. How's that going to feel?
Yeah.
And do you want to continue this current pain of being a job you don't like? Oh my God. Going, I get on the tram some mornings, not very often at 8 o'clock because I work for myself. And see all these doctors on the tram, right? And you can see they're very sad and they're on their iPhones, trying to look for some sort of pleasure on their iPhone. But you can see they're so unhappy because they're locked into a system that they feel unhappy. But when the pain gets enough, right, they'll be ready to shift and become an entrepreneur. Which enables you to free yourself up, to live your passion, and make a major contribution to the world.
Yeah. And Paul, what would you say to people? Because, like pain is a big motivator. I've endured a lot of it. So I totally, totally agree with you there. And I know that that is absolute fact. But, sometimes we don't want everyone, sometimes I like to think that we can help people before they get to that pain point, right? And sometimes you can with the right influence. So what would you say to people who might be, they haven't hit that stomach turn of, nah, I got to get out of this. Like, what would you say to those people who are kind of in that interim bit of like, it's kind of crappy, but it's not too bad. It's like, I'm not really...
See, to me, it's part of the education system because part of my legacy I want to leave is I want to create a life mastery course, which people can start at 5 years old. Because a lot of kids these days do homeschooling, which is going to teach them all about life and help them to understand. Okay, if people were educated, oh my God, it is possible to go out there and do what I really want, and it's just knowing how to do it and how to find the support, rather than go through a school system or university system to do things to satisfy their parents or, to feel they need to do something when it's really about. So I feel part of that is education to people. And I feel it's about personal responsibility. It's about people really asking themselves, am I really happy in what I'm doing? Is this my passion? Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Right? And so that's what I do. I run a lot of workshops online and talks to people, and I go to expos and stuff and doing talks to help people just awaken, open up their eyes to see that there are different possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big one because sometimes all it takes is one experience to see that there's a different journey that you can take. Like, when I first started traveling by myself, I was the person, and for a long time when I was younger, I was the person that I would coordinate all the trips with everyone. I was like, all right, guys, like we got these dates, like let's go do this. And I would book all the tickets. And I got let down so many times by so many people that I just went, you know what? I'm just going to go by myself because I'm sick of trying to logistically work stuff out. And it wasn't until I went somewhere by myself for the first time. It was within Australia, but I just remember that trip being this really profound moment in my life where I realized that, whoa, there is such a big world out there. And then, I started traveling overseas by myself and like traveling solo. It just opened my eyes up to how big the world is. And it's such a big place and there's so much opportunity and, connecting with like-minded individuals and things. It's a beautiful process that we only find when we do take the leap and step into another aspect. So
I like traveling by myself because I feel you're never really alone because you can always find people to talk to and meet. But it gives you so much flexibility because you can get up one day and go, oh, okay, I might go to a different city today. I've traveled a lot. I've been to a lot of different countries and the advantage of being an entrepreneur for me is like I was in Kenya for 3 months last year, but I was actually still running my business online.
Yeah.
So during the day, I'd go out and go on animal safari or whatever, and then at night I'd get on the computer and talk to people in Australia, right? So the advantage of being an entrepreneur is you can enjoy meeting the world and finding out about the world, right, so much. And as an entrepreneur, you can do it. If you look at people most people, most people in America don't even travel out of America. Like 73% of people in America don't even travel out of America, right? I know Australians travel a lot more. But if you've actually got that flexibility that you know you're not limited to being in a particular location for a job or particular hours, well, that entrepreneur gives you the flexibility to travel. And as you said, you meet so many different cultures and I've been to so many different countries. I just love finding out about how different people live and what they do.
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned earlier, and I wanted to circle back to this because I feel like this would be really interesting to kind of dive into. You said that you went and you lived in Africa for 4 years.
No, South America.
South America, sorry, apologies.
No.
Tell us a bit about that and what was that? Do you have some stories or some like moments that happened to you throughout that were really impactful on your journey?
It started off when I was 7 years old. I had this dream that I was going to live in the Amazon.
Yeah.
I got up and I said to my mum, "Where's the Amazon jungle?" I had a dream last night. I'm going to live there one day. My mum said, "What? Never happened." I knew I was. So in about 2014, I did. I felt it was time to go. And I don't know if you know about plant medicines, but there's a plant called ayahuasca, which is quite powerful in America. You can take it in Australia, it's illegal, but in South America, and I thought, this sounds interesting. So I went and worked at a healing centre in Peru. And the first day I got there, the shaman did his back in, and I helped him heal his back in 2 sessions. He could hardly bend over in 2 days. He could actually put his hands on the ground. And the owner of the healing centre said, we'd like you to work here. So I ended up working there for 4 years. And so people do ayahuasca ceremonies, which actually opens up your visual centres and helps people heal a lot. Which comes back to a point you talked about before, are people ready? You've got to really be ready to drink ayahuasca because it really opens you up to see things, so you've really got to be ready. Otherwise, it's challenging. But if you're ready, also ayahuasca help people heal from so many different things, addictions and depression and body ailments like fibromyalgia. So working with the shamans around the jungle was amazing. Those shamans, oh my God, compared to the doctors in the West, oh my God, those shamans know so much. Yeah. It was a really, really powerful experience. So I ended up working with people before ceremonies, after ceremonies, and also preparing people for ceremonies by teaching people how to connect with their energy and how to work with their energy during a ceremony. So it was a lot of fun living in the jungle, helping people around the world. It was an amazing experience.
Yeah, 100%. I like that. There's actually a lot of, and I read a really good book. I can't think what the book is called, but it talks about how, there was a lot of research and study done before the 1980s, I think, on hallucinogenics and how that actually like helps people heal from a lot of like traumas, PTSD, depression, anxiety kind of thing. But then they destroyed much of the research in the 1980s because they deemed those drugs as bad. However, now what we're seeing at the moment is they're actually doing a lot more testing and a lot more research to see how, ayahuasca, all of that, like ketamine. I think they're using MDMA in some of the studies as well, like how that is helping people heal. And it's funny how, connecting back to our energy, right? Because we're an energy being. Like we have there's that pull and push of energies throughout the world and everyone can feel it. And I think when you get really attuned to it, it's quite interesting when you can then, be a person who picks up on other people's energy and being able to see like, okay, is this person ready? Like, are they prepared to dive into the deep elements of themselves? And I say this I've had many conversations with people and my own experience. When you go into entrepreneurship and you start a business and you start a project, it uncovers things that you have, like that may have just been completely off the radar for you. And then you have to be prepared to face it and ready to face it because it will shake you, and that's something that I've learned is like, you've got to be okay to be shook. when you're
Yeah.
going on this journey. So do you have any thoughts on that, or any
One
yeah,
of my one of my favourite teachers is Eckhart Tolle. I don't know if you know Eckhart Tolle. He's famous for writing the book The Power of Now, and
oh
then
yes, another book.
he wrote The New Earth, right? And like one of his comments, he says, all life challenges are there to help you become more conscious. So if you look at sometimes people say this is a bad experience, because I say there's never such thing as a bad experience. There's an experience to learn from, right? And if you can learn from it, that challenge, what you say that you might have, right? That challenge is there to open you up to a new ability. As an entrepreneur, you're going to have new challenges, right? But I look at them as an adventure. You go, okay, what can I learn from this? And how can I become more of a bigger person, right? Because relating again to what you said is, everything is energy, right? And so even when people create businesses, I get them to create it from an energetic perspective. I don't run my business runs itself, and I talk to my business as an energy, right? Because everything's created at an energetic level first. So I talk to my business and I ask my business what I need to do, right? Because most people think they're business. No, your business is an energy that you create. It's a bit like creating a child. Well, you don't want to control your child. You want your child to do whatever they want to do. So I create a business with intentions, and now I teach people how to create a business energetically, because everything is at an energetic level. And if you look at things at a physical level, you're very limited. So that's why Western medicine, which just looks at things at a physical level, it doesn't diagnose, well, it doesn't diagnose correctly, right? Whereas at an energetic level, well, if you understand healing from an energetic level, you can heal anything, right? And the same thing, you can create anything if you understand how to create it from an energetic perspective, right?
Yeah.
But most people don't understand about energy. They're trying to create things in a third dimensional way.
Yeah.
Right? But if you understand energy, you can learn how to create what I call holistically, right? And it's actually easier. Trying to just create things in a third dimension is hard.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And when you keep it, and I feel like you might resonate with this, Paul, when you keep things fun, that's when your energy is just flowing and you get into those states of flow and things come really naturally. And then your business is running itself because you're bouncing around that, you know, the vibration of like, let's go, like, what do we need to do? And when it's fun, you know, for me, like laughter and adventure are a couple of my key values in life. And
that's why, see, a lot of people think healing is serious, but actually healing can be a lot of fun, right?
yeah,
And that's why I love to play with words, right? Because if you look at the word mission, me, shine, right? I shine, right? Because I'm an author and I've written eight books. But I like to play with words. So to me, life is play. And that's why like one of my favourite guys is entrepreneurs is like Richard Branson, because he's all about fun and play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's got all these 400 businesses or something, but he's still, life is fun to him, right?
Yeah.
And he makes life fun wherever he goes.
Yeah.
So, whereas a lot of people, because they're in their heads a lot and they think too much and they don't feel, is they take life serious. I say serious is very serious illness.
Yeah. I like that because it's, you know, and I love having fun. I love keeping it light, having a joke, you know, be serious when you need to be serious, because sometimes you got to know when to balance it, because sometimes there's a firmness that's needed, right? Or just that we'll be direct here. But then as quick as you can, get back into the fun zone and that playful energy and keeping your youth alive, because I've found that, and you know, I've seen a lot of people when they climb up the ladder in business and they've started this big organization and then they're making money, they're making moves, they've got all this stuff, but they're not happy because they don't ever have that connection to play and connection to self where they've kept the fun alive. So, you know, what are your thoughts on someone who's sitting at the top of the ring and they are miserable?
To start your day, getting up, and the first thing I say to myself is, how can I enjoy what I'm going to do today? Right? Because after this, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go out on my scooter and go for a scooter ride. Right?
Yeah.
And it's about how you can enjoy whatever you do, because you can enjoy it, right? So I always wake up in the morning and say, okay, what am I going to do today? Oh, I'm going to speak to Angie today. That's going to be a bit of fun. Don't know. We'll have a fun chat here, right? I get up and speak. I love speaking
Yeah.
live. I see that as fun. I see it like as a fun stage. For me, life is a playground, and I see which playground am I going to be playing in today? Right?
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Life is a playground.
Life is a playground. So it's like getting up in the ground gate. Life is a playground, right?
Yeah.
Having fun. So if you're going to go to an office, okay, make it your playground. How can you make it fun? Put fun little characteristics. Right? I've got a little world there on my desk.
Yeah.
I like them to hold and say, I've got the world in my hand.
I like that.
Right?
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, I can look at my pen face. It's got all faces on it, right?
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
it's having fun. It's having fun around you. That life is making life fun, and you can make life, even healing can be fun. People think it's serious. Oh my God, I can't do this because it's serious, right? And that's why people block it. No, you can actually have fun, because quite often when I'm doing healing with people, I'm clearing their issues from when they're a child. But when I connect them to their child energy, their inner child, that's fun, playful energy. See, a lot of that power animal exercise, that's a lot of fun. Right?
Yeah.
There's a lady the other day, hers was a Doberman, right? That was her power animal. Oh, that's really interesting. She sees Doberman as really being quite intimidating, but she loved that energy, and just embodying that, she thought, gee, that feels good. See, so I help people have fun exercises, right? See, I don't run workshops, I call them play groups.
Yeah.
Right? It's about how can we play today? Right? How can we play today? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just a mindset. Whatever you do, you can choose to have fun.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you don't get to choose what happens to you, but you get to choose how you respond. And, you know, I've learned throughout my journey is that life's going to knock you down. And no matter what you do, whether it's just working a job or if you're starting a business, like if you start a business, it tends to happen a bit like tenfold. You get hit, you get put in the ringer a bit, but yeah, it's just like, okay, cool. How do I turn this into, how can I flip the script and how can I make this, you know, a positive experience, or how can I bring in the lessons to it? Like what else, how can I view this differently? Because neurologically, it changes our brain chemistry when we do see things in a different light and we tap into that creative side. And yeah, when we choose to see the world through rose-colored glasses, there's actually research to say that you will have a better quality of life. So I love that.
It's quite funny. I've actually got some rose-colored glasses, and I wear them out, and I say that to people. Oh, wear your glasses because I look at everything through rose-colored glasses, right?
Yeah.
Fun glasses to go out with, right?
Yeah.
There's a famous comment from Eckhart Tolle reflecting on what you just said, right? I love this quote. This is another famous quote. He said, unhappiness is not caused by what happens to you. Unhappiness is your perception of what happens to you. So I never say I have a bad experience.
Yeah.
No, something happened. Oh, I've got to learn something. Okay, what do I need to learn? And enjoy learning, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
And that's all about your perception. So quite often I'm helping them change their words. Because the lady said to me, the client said, I'm struggling. I said, if you say I'm struggling, what's your body going to do? It's going to go through panic. And it's very simple. I've got 3 simple words that I say sometimes. Everything is okay.
I like that.
Peace. Everything is okay. I don't understand what's going on right now, but it's okay. It's happening for a reason. I learned something. Everything is okay.
Yeah.
In the face.
Yeah.
They're 3 powerful words to use. Right?
It's very powerful. And just even giving ourselves up. And this ties back to the permission, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to sit and I'm going to feel this and it's going to be okay. Because, you know, unless you're bleeding out of a main artery, you're probably going to be all right, you know? So.
Well, even do that. Like I had a heart attack 2 years ago, but I healed myself. My body said don't go to hospital. But I teach people how to connect to their body. So I connect to my heart attack, right?
Yeah.
I was going to die. And it's really funny. My girlfriend, and she said, Paul, you're right, you're here. I said, what? So I was looking for sympathy, I think. And she said, Paul, you know how to heal yourself. What are you talking about? I just connected to the heart attack and learnt from the message. And within 10 minutes, the pain in my heart just disappeared.
Yeah.
Once you pick up the pain in your body and understand it, you connect to it, rather than following up with pills. If you connect to it, then you can understand the message and the pain goes away. Every
Yeah.
symptom of your body is because you're blocking who you are. So if you connect to your body, which is what people do, all right, you know how to connect to your body, get the message, so you can actually heal yourself from anything. So if that heart attack was painful, like I felt like 50 people were standing in my chest, right? I thought, oh my God, this is really painful. There's something really I need to learn here. And I learnt the message and the pain went away.
Yeah.
No doctors, no surgery.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love that. I love that. Okay, I've got a question. So on the topic of entrepreneurial audacity, I would love to know what audacity means to you, Paul.
To me, it's having the courage to really do what you want to do and turn into being an entrepreneur so that you're not linked into time. Because to me, entrepreneurs are people who are very creative and really create things out in the world, but doing it in a way that you're not a slave in the system. So to me, audacity is having that courage to really connect to who you are and putting yourself out to the world. Now, this is how I can share my philosophies in life in 6 words. Know yourself, be yourself, give yourself permission, be powerful, be a powerful animal. Share yourself.
Scare yourself?
Share yourself.
I like that.
So know yourself, be yourself, share yourself. And to share yourself is having that courage. Oh my God, if I've got these abilities, maybe the world needs them. That's why I'm here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sharing this lady the other day, right? Now I can see her as being an entrepreneur, as an author, but she needs to have that courage to put that book out to the world. Because I thought, that book is amazing, what you're writing about you and your mother and her crossing over and whatever, and still talking to her. And I thought, well, that's really powerful. So part of what I do with people is helping them create that courage so they can go out and do in the world what they really want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. It's yeah, very beautiful. I love that, Paul. Thank you for that. Any other thoughts, things that you want to share, any burning desires that you would love our listeners to hear before we go into some closing reflections?
Well, I think let's link into the word audacity again. To me, it's about, and based on my 6 words, it's about really find out who you are. Who are you really? Why are you here? And you're not just a person who works 50 hours a week with 2 kids and a figure trance and a dog. Right. What is your real purpose here from an energetic perspective? How are you here to make a contribution to the world? Then give yourself permission to be who you really are. Right. Including in that is having people around you, which you talked about today, to support yourself, support you, but having those supporting people around you. Right. And then it's about share what you've got with the world. Know the world needs it. So like, I'm a healer, and I train healers, and the healing industry is the second fastest growing industry in the world, right? Because there's a lot of people looking for change. So I'm helping people getting out into the world, getting online, so they can work with more people, and they can help the world change.
Yeah.
We're all here to help the world change and know that you can make a contribution. And when you do that, your life feels amazing. Like, I know when I helped this 7-year-old who had all these allergies, right, as an example. And all the doctors couldn't work out what was going on. And I said to her mother, I know what she's allergic to. And I said, really? Yeah, she's allergic to you because you control her. And so there's a power game going on. So when I helped the mother understand how she was controlling her magical daughter, right, I changed that relationship. All her allergies went away in a month. All of them. Now, when the 7-year-old rang me up and told me, and she was so excited, right? I thought, oh my God, what else would you want to do in your world for helping people change? I mean, oh my God, who knows what the 7-year-old's doing in the world right now?
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think we really forget how big the world is and how many people there are, and you will connect to people, and there's and I suppose one thing I would like, as you were saying that, Paul, tying back the people around you, the support and stuff, what would you say to people who are around those, and they might not be the best of company, like how would you encourage people to take that risk and to venture out and find themselves and find the people that they need around them to help them facilitate that journey?
It's a great question. I feel it's going to events like, we met at the Empire Mastery, and you go to there, because when you go to those events, well, if you go to an entrepreneur summit or something, well, the people there are going to be open-minded. You meet amazing people there. The other thing I do is I do networking. I go into various networking groups, right? And I've got a lot from America, and I'm doing a podcast in France in a couple of weeks, and so I've gone to networks and meet people, right? And if I go into business networking event, well, those people there are very interested in putting themselves out there. You know what I mean? And you meet like-minded people, and then you can follow them up, and they become good friends or colleagues or affiliates, or you can work with them in some way. So to me, it's putting yourself out there. Where are people going to be who are like you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got a meetup talk, and it's called Shamanism Playgroup, right? Because it's about playing with your energy. So if you go into meetup, well, you can find a lot of meetups, and today a lot of events are online, so you can meet. It's going to go to places where people like you will hang out.
Yeah.
Right?
And and I love that you said that, because it's exactly right. And when you always feel like the dorky new kid when you're going somewhere new and you're like, oh God, who am I? I don't know anyone here. There's that fear factor coming in. You're like, oh, what if people what if I can't get along with people? I went to a networking event last night, actually, and it was funny. It was in an area that it's not my bread and butter in any way, shape or form. And I remember feeling so out of depth with some of the conversations, but I lent into that fear and just, I was like, okay, I was talking to some of the managing directors of these resource companies and things. And I was like, you're going to have to simplify some of the stuff that you're talking about, because I'm here and I can't catch up. But then, being around those people, they like, okay, cool, no worries. And they lifted me up. They took me on the journey with them. And it was just, really resonated with me and just reminded me that it's like, it's okay when you have that fear of being out of your depth around people, because when you do go to those networking opportunities, your people, like the right people, will gravitate towards you, and they'll pick you up and they'll say, hey, okay, they'll pick up on your energy, and they're like, right, I see your energy. I know that, they might feel that discomfort or whatever, and they'll help you elevate it. And this is where we talk about what that means in terms of support, because when you are exposed to those situations and those circumstances and people actually lift you up, that's what we're talking about with the support side of it, right?
Yeah. And I think it's a really important thing for people to really change and to be an entrepreneur. And that is not to worry about being judged by the people. There's a famous comment in coaching, and that is, what other people think about you is none of your business, right? Because when people judge you, right, they're judging themselves from where they're looking. And there's no way you're going to please everybody. Can you imagine if you're a singer, right? Well, everyone's going to like your singing. And some people might think it's terrible, whatever. But the thing is, if you find enough, as you said, there's 8 billion people on the planet, right? There's got to be enough people that like what you do, given you come to the planet at this time. So I think an important change to be who you are is to accept yourself. I think it's a big word, accept yourself. And for that, I don't worry if people judge me at all, because it's got nothing to do with me, what you're saying, right? So, and I think that's really important. So when you go to meetings like you do, you go, okay, you're not worrying what other people think about you, right? If they judge you, well, that's their stuff's got nothing to do with you.
Yeah. And who wants to be around a judgy person? That's one thing that I've picked up, right? Is I'm really attuned to when people judge me, because right now, if you met me now, you'd be like, oh, cool, she seems really nice. You'd want to be around her kind of energy. But I went through some shit when I was younger. And if you met the younger version of me, for me, I always think if people met me in all versions, how would they respond? How would they treat me? Yeah, and the people that I connect with are the people that no matter where I was in my journey, they would resonate with me. And those are the people that I'm like, okay, cool. They're my crew. and I get along with that because they're people. And it happens at all levels. Where people still judge and hold on to things. And for me, if someone was to look at Angie, the younger version of Angie, and would be judgy to her instead of seeing her for a human being, still, I'm like, out, not my person, because it's.
Well, see, as I'm the opposite. I purposely go out and I challenge people to actually judge me. Like, I've got dolphin pants. They've got dolphins all over them, right? People go, what? Right? But I don't care what people say because I'm enjoying expressing myself, who I am, right?
Yeah.
So if you've got that energy and go out and enjoy what we said before, enjoy who you are. And don't worry what I never worry what people think of what they're saying about me because it's got nothing to do with me, right?
Yeah.
You want to find people that like you because there's something we've all got to share with the world. And that's about being prepared to share yourself, is not worrying about judgment.
100%. I love that. I remember the day that we met at Empire. You were wearing a really funky jumper, and I was like, I like that jumper. Like, it was cool, And
with a big eye on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like the jumper was one part, but when you pick up on people's energy as well, right? And like we resonated, and I remember we said this because it was like good energy. We're like like-minded, cool.
Yeah. You feel people's energy, and that's where you know people are the same as you because you connect to their energy.
Yeah.
Right. And if people aren't in the same level of you, we're just going to move on from them. It's not a judgment thing. It's about you hang around people with the same energy as you. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that alignment piece. And, you won't always be aligned with people. And sometimes, sometimes you meet people and they help you grow. Sometimes you meet people and you help them grow. And, you take little bits and little experiences with and from people that just help shape you,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, I have one last question, and just a quick question before anything else that you would like to add before we tie up?
No, it's okay. I think we've shared enough, and hopefully people out there will learn something today, even if it's about being more positive,
Yeah, absolutely. No, this has been beautiful. I've loved our chat. One quote or book recommendation that you would give to our listeners on their journey of being audacious and diving into the risk of starting a business for themselves.
I really like Dan Brown. He's my favourite author. Do you know Dan Brown? He wrote the Da Vinci Code. That's his famous book.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Dan Brown writes a lot of books. They're like suspense thrillers, but actually in them is a lot of reality about what's really going on in the world. It opens your eyes up to understand the world because as an entrepreneur, it's always important to know what's happening in the world and what's other people's perceptions of what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
I love Dan Brown books. And his latest book is called The Secret of Secrets.
The Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown.
Oh, yeah, it's a really, really cool book. And he's a very famous author.
Yeah.
And I'm enrolled in a class called Masterclass, which is really cool. It's got all these entrepreneurs on it. I suggest you join. It costs about like $100 a year training. And I went on there because the guy from Virgin, Richard Branson, was on there. Right. He talks about how he does things. So it's got all these entrepreneurs on it. It's really, really cool. And Dan Brown's on it, and he explains exactly how he actually writes a book. This is really, really cool because I love writing books, right? And I'm about to write some more books. So, yeah, going to a masterclass. But Dan Brown is one of my favourite authors. But if you're really interested in health and healing, I like this book.
The Secret Language of Your Body.
It tells you what every part of your body means. Right? If you want to get a message from your body, she's actually Australian, actually. I think she lives in Queensland. The secret language of your body.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love reading. I think reading is a great way to learn and find out about different people. Like I read all about Nelson Mandela, and I read about Richard Branson, and one of Richard Branson's chapters in one of his books is called Bollocks. That's a really funny chapter. Like, he's funny, like.
Yeah.
And he's playful energy, but he's an entrepreneur, and he can create at such a big level, but still have humour and do fun things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, got to keep it fun.
Got to keep it fun. abundance. One of my
Yeah,
favorite words. Have a fun day.
absolutely. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Paul. This has been a great episode. Yeah, and we will be putting the link for all of Paul's resources and contact information in the show notes, so you can find him online, follow online as well. Yeah, Paul, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Angie, for this opportunity to speak, and hopefully your followers were going to benefit out of this and learn some wisdom and go out into the world and be major entrepreneurs, making a major change in the world, making the world a more fun playground.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome.
Okay.
All right, until next time.